Hello, Future Dr. Lorian here, and I've been thinking about our education system. Of course, that's all I ever think about, right? And I've been thinking about literature because I'm reading The Little Prince at work, and so The Little Prince is kind of anti-adult, and the whole book starts off anti-adult, and it's not an age thing per se. It's more about the changes that happen to us as we become adults. And Little Prince would kind of agree with Van Gogh that it kind of gets worse as we get older, right? So we start out beautiful and perfect and naive, but not in a bad way, in a way in where like we don't know the evils of the world. And then and for The Little Prince specifically, it's we understand what's truly important. And so like we see this when he visits the man who like counts things, and he just thinks that's ridiculous because why would it be your job to count things? Like, how is that useful to anybody? How is that useful to the things you count? How is that useful to you or the adults you care for or your community? It just makes no sense to him. And so, and at one point, so the story is told, the narrator is this mechanic. Well, he's a pilot and his plane is broken down and he's trying to fix it in order to be able to save his life because he's in dire straits. He's trapped in the desert. He doesn't have enough water to last. And if he can't get his plane back up in the air again and flying, he's going to die. So, but the Little Prince thinks even that is not useful work. He thinks that it's more important to ponder the great ideas of the world, and not just our world, but like the whole universe. Like, why would roses have thorns if thorns can't protect them? And things like that. And so he's I guess it's kind of an existentialist text, right? So anyway, so I was imagining taking the Little Prince and plucking him out of this fictional work and putting him into the current public school system and then trying to explain to him the rules, right? Like, you have to be here. You have to study what the teacher says, which is what the county says, which is what the state says. And it's important that you learn these things because they'll be on a test. And if you don't pass the test, then you don't go to the next grade. And that's important because once you've gone through enough grades, then you get a diploma. And I'm just like imagining these things that just make so much sense to us that we just say without even thinking about. And the Little Prince just wouldn't stand for it. He would say that this is adulting at its very worst. Worst. At its very worst. I'm very tired. He would say this is adulting at its very worst. And he would say that it's absolutely ridiculous, that the problems that are important to think about are things, again, like why does a flower have thorns? And, being useful, like lighting a lamp when the sun goes down and putting it out when the sun comes up. This is being useful. Sweeping out your volcanoes and protecting your planet from baobabs before they become too big and become a problem. This is important. Protecting your flower from a sheep that is invisible because it's in a box. This is important. So, understanding the names of the people who signed the Constitution, not important. Understanding mathematical facts, not important. Reading and writing at or above grade level, not important. And so just the idea for him of, spending your time not thinking, not exploring these ideas, not figuring these important things out, and to instead spend it in rote memorization or, repeat practice for rehearsal. He just wouldn't buy it. And so that's what I was thinking about today, is how the Little Prince would fare in our current American public school system.